All right, cool. Mic check. All right, looks good. welcome. Good day, everybody. We have a new session in front of us. Let me do this. New session in front of us. Very bearish start to today's session. I'm gonna go ahead and mark off these session highs here because the first thing I'm gonna notice is London high never taken. And Asia high never taken. All right, let's go over here to NASDAQ. Same thing. Relative equal highs over here. So yeah, definitely would like to see higher prices here. While we wait, I'll go ahead and show you guys what I'm looking at on the higher time frame, right? So let's go to the daily chart and you'll see price has been trending very clean. All right. Our last pullback, right? So we had this breakout higher. We pulled back into this massive volume imbalance, pull back into this opening gap. This daily candle closing price right here served as support, right? Price was not able to break lower and we shoot higher. All right, now that we start making highs, you look for price to pull back again. And you notice this area right here served as the last support, which would be Tuesday's opening price. We drive into it once, make a high, drive into it, this zone again, make another high, and now we're back in this zone. All right, I'm looking for some sort of rejection. That would be ideal. All right, and specifically, if you notice, we have 1, 2, 3 daily low candles slightly above this high. So we're taking out these lows here. If we look over on NASDAQ, you'll notice we're taking out even more lows. And we're pushing, really this level right here is where you get most of the volume. But for me, when you zoom down, which you'll see here shortly, you see this engulfing daily candle. You see price reject this level here. That's good for the daily. When you go down to like the 4-hour, you'll see even more rejection off of things like this engulfing 4-hour candle from Tuesday. This was a beautiful point of interest for buys. And then now we have even more bullish areas in here. You see all these wicks, right? So that's why I have this entire zone marked out. Maybe even include that wick. This is very bullish territory, right? No matter how deep we get inside of this zone, I will remain bullish, looking for a quick bounce. We should see some sort of bounce. I doubt that price will just close and slice directly through this zone, being that we took out this high and we completely melt, right? So you guys, I'm sure you guys know by now, anytime I see price do something like this where we just straight drop or free fall into bullish territory, I am going to immediately start looking for a bounce, right? Same thing here. We're free falling into bullish territory. So that's pretty much why I have this zone here, right? Lots of resistance. Would love to see price start to reverse. Going down to the 2-hour chart, I'm watching this daily low here. We're sweeping out this previous daily low. And if you notice, all right, this where is it? No, it's over here. This down close candle right here was the catalyst price used to retest and go higher. We pull back. If you fine tune this to this bearish candle here, you'll notice that price, anytime price is inside of this bearish candle, we were able to flip higher. So that's going to be a really good area for analysis, right? If I see price get up under here, then I may stop looking for the buys because that may be a sign of weakness. But as long as price stays inside of this 4 hour candle or 2 hour candle here, I'm expecting price to flip bullish. And if you look over here, it's the same exact thing. This high down to this low. Once price closes through it, we retest, continue higher, push back into that same range, push higher, same thing, higher. So now I'm looking for higher. And as far as the bearish side of things goes, we're about to get this massive bearish engulfing. All right. So I'm going to use this as my draw, this high, right? Where you see this wick price attempts to go higher and then engulfs lower. That'll be my target. Similar to this right here, right? Where if this looks exactly like today, let's say this was my area of interest for shorts, and then price drives into here and I look for my buy. If I'm buying it, I'm literally just going to buy it up to this level here. And as you can see, we got a lot of rejection off of this level. So that was a good area to take TP. And then price retest here and then wins the battle, pushes to the high, right? So now I'm looking at the same type of deal here. There is 2 hour zone here. And then on the daily chart, I believe there is, yeah, there's a lot of sell pressure up at this high as well. Look at this bearishness. But remember, I was saying this, I said it yesterday. I'm like, bro, price made all-time highs on ES here, and we got a lot of rejection. This area doesn't hold up. Price is gonna push all the way back to this previous weekly low. Speaking of the weekly, let's take a look at the weekly. All right, so look at what's happening here. We sweep this previous weekly high, and you're seeing lots of selling pressure. If this pressure holds up, yeah, the previous weekly low is going to be the target. All right, I should have that on my chart. If not, I will highlight it. I don't see it. Why don't I see it? Maybe it'll show up on like the 2 hour here. Okay, yeah, there it is. Previous weekly high, swept, slams underneath, blood, pure blood. All right. So we're chilling here, waiting for this 10 a.m. open. And I love that price is very, very one-sided here. I'm thinking we're going to get at least a push back towards this 8 a.m. high. That would be ideal. But decent volume so far this week. CPI was good. Actually, let me check on the PPI numbers. Maybe that's why price is so bearish here. Hmm. All right, go back to, look at this. It is dumping, kid. Yeah, this may be a sign that price is not going to go bullish. Oh my goodness. My goodness. Are there any fair value gaps down here on the higher time frame? Okay, nice. So yeah, we're still inside of this daily fair value gap here on NASDAQ. Daily fair value gaps may end up being the catalyst here. All right, yeah, so I'm going to drop to the 1 minute. Keep my eyes on ES here. First of all, let me mark off this low here. So this 2 hour low, definitely going to be a factor. 2 hour high, another factor. Make that solid. And we are off. So I love how we immediately push lower at 10 a.m. This is probably going to be a very bullish profile. It just depends, like I said, how price responds underneath here. Because if you notice, there really isn't much except for this weekly open here. If price wants to fill in that weekly open, that would be, yeah, that would be the next point of interest here. If you look at the hourly, I'm sure there's order block sitting right at that weekly open, and there it is here. This down close candle, the wick looks like it served as a very bullish point of interest. I'll mark that off. And you can see how it's easy for me to pick a side, right? Once you understand how the market moves, you can pick a side. Like, why would I be bearish here? I would rather just let the shorts do whatever they want to do, because I know that when price overextends into bullish or bearish structure, whichever way it wants to go, I know that that's going to create a bounce sooner or later. All right. So I'm just waiting on that. We'll probably get that here shortly. Two bullish, very bullish areas of interest. And now we just wait for a clean reversal. Hold on 1 second. Make sure I have this 2-hour low. Yep. 2-hour low looks good. Fantastic. Starting to see some rejection already. And let's figure out which one is stronger. I believe ES is stronger from what I saw earlier. 930. Yeah, ES is a little bit stronger here. If you notice, NASDAQ took out these lows already. ES has not. So I'll be looking to buy ES. 1 minute chart. And let's go ahead and start looking at this macro, right? So I want to know what the macro had going on today. 950. There's this bearish gap right here. So this is what the macro was trading off of right now. Well, this morning. Macro gap here. And this is important because you get to see what was important to price. Here was this bearish gap. We trade to the highs of it, squeeze out as much liquidity as possible, and then continue lower. So now I would like to see price interact with this level now that 10 a.m. is officially here. And I'm going to go take a look at these PPI numbers right now. See if we can get some sort of narrative for today, some sort of sentiment. Copy that. All right, cool. So here we are. PPI actual. There was no forecast. Why was there no forecast? All right, well, PPI came in under the previous number. Let me see what PPI even stands for real quick. The change in the price of finished goods and services sold by producers. Actual greater than forecast is good for currency. So you want to see this number go up, right? So PPI went down from the previous months. That's not good. Okay, so now the selling pressure makes sense. Core PPI forecast 0% went down. Core retail sales goes up a little bit. PPI month over month equal. So this right here on a monthly basis, this is fine, right? We see that the reports show that it was lacking, but on a monthly forecast, it actually came in greater than last month, right? Last month was 0.1, came in greater at 0.2. The forecast was 0.2. Retail sales higher than expected. All right, so this news isn't terrible. It's not like this is something that could crash and send price bearish for the rest of the day. It almost looks like the initial reaction could be bearish here, and then price could start to recover. All right. Check out this macro zone over here, 950. All right, yeah. So you can see the same area of interest here. We have this bearish gap. I'll highlight from high to low. So essentially, this is important because if price pushes back into this area and it can't break this area, that tells you that price is still bearish. And then on the other end, right, if we flip it, that tells you price has a good chance of continuing higher. 5 minute chart. Let's highlight some bearish areas. We got this 5 minute gap here. You want to see price. If we're bullish, you want to see the same trade we saw yesterday. 5 minute gap, fills it in, show some rejection, absorb those sellers that are in here. So you want to see rejection. You don't want to see price just completely invert this gap. It's not really what I like to see. I like to see push, reject a little bit, and then flip it and invert it, giving you the retest to continue higher. And as I mentioned, this is my area of liquidity. These highs up here should be retested if we're bullish. We may not break them, right? But we could definitely retest them. So that's that. That's my setup. That's my spiel. All right. So now we are moving pretty nice. We have 10 a.m. open lower. We're still inside of that bullish zone that I mentioned. We swept out literally every single low in there for the most part. So if we're bullish, we should see a strong push right now. And then that weekly open down here would be the next draw. If price is bearish and I can get a clean short, it would be down to that previous weekly level for sure. Previous weekly level in the open. Yeah. So looking at the 1 minute here, how does price respond? All right. So we sweep this level, pull back to 10 a.m. This could be a short. We're inside of this 5 minute gap, showing rejection. Let's see if we get some sort of like a change in the state here where price can get underneath these lows. Right? Get underneath the lows. And then offer a retest. Boom, boom, boom. To go lower. It's looking like it could end up squeezing lower here. We'll see. But honestly, I would prefer to see price go bullish. That would be textbook. Mm. So I like how if you pay attention to every single candle, which sometimes it could be easy to read, sometimes it could be choppy. Lately, it's been easy to read because of the volume, right? You see how we have this up close candle here that taps into 10 a.m. Notice how price responds. We slam lower, right? And now we're trading back into the extremes of this range. So this candle right here could literally serve as your trade idea. This 10:06 candle pushes into 10 a.m. You guys know how big I am on opening prices. So that reaction right there is very bearish. We push into it, slam lower, and then now if we use this candle as an order block, essentially you'll see that price is failing to break the ranges of this candle. So either price is going to break lower or price is going to break higher. But the key is understanding that this is actually resistance right now. This candle right here is serving as resistance. And also we have this SMT, right? We have a lot of SMT down here in this zone. So we take out this low, but NASDAQ takes out all of this. So there's a higher time frame divergence on the table. You want to see the bullish profile play out, but it doesn't always happen that way. So you just have to be patient, see what happens here. Here we go. Like honestly, a clean setup here, right? Because I'm looking for a uh, a bearish move. There it is. All right. Oh crap, bro. All right. So what did price just do? Price just completely broke out. You see how this resistance, right? Price was building up, building up, building up, and then breaks out here. I'm looking for that down close candle that price is using as, oh yeah, this is nice. You might be able to just long this off of this 1 minute fair value gap. We're inside the macro. Yeah, let's see what happens here. If we can pull back and retest this area here, I'm gonna long this. All right, we had some sort of resistance here, completely rips through it. 5 minute chart, no sellers down here. The next area of interest is right here, right now. So we're going to see some sort of rejection, right? I would anticipate price to reject almost instantly. All right, so let's see here. I'm debating taking this right now, guys. Taking the buy on ES. Let's see what that would look like if I enter inside of the gap. Stop below 10 a.m., like 13 points, and then I can just target up here like 17 points. Right? We had, I'm looking for, like I said, I want to see a bearish candle. Yeah, I think we're going to use this right here. So you're looking for that bearish candle that gets retested. Same thing here, right? You have a closure through. What happens when we close through it? You want to see a push back into it, strong move off of it. It might not let me get in here. We're in a very bullish territory, right? So it makes sense how fast price is moving here. Just got to be careful not to get too bullish because we still, like I said before, we still have a lot of bearish structure up above. So I want to get in down here, right? I don't want to be buying it too far up. And it looks like that we closed through it, but we haven't retested. So the cool thing is one of these bearish candles, we're going to start using them as a retest. You're going to see price, you see these down close candles. Anytime price closes through a down close candle, like this one right here, we close through it, rebalance and continue. Let's find one over here. We close through this one right here, rebalance, continue. All I'm looking for is a retest. We did get a rebalance off of those. So if I were to look for this as a bullish area of interest, right? Because it's so early, I don't feel the need to just click the buy button just yet because we haven't pulled back essentially. I could miss this trade, right? That's a part of me being patient right now, but I'd rather miss it than to get in a little too early. This is being lame now. Now this is starting to look bearish. When you see stuff like this, the only way I really will believe this is bullish is if we so I'm gonna move this up to here now to match NASDAQ because there is a 1 minute gap here. And also we're getting close to that 930 open price. So yeah, eventually we need to start seeing some sort of pullback if we're truly bullish. If price just runs right into this red area here, I'm gonna start looking for shorts. So to sum it up, right, we have this macro zone here, which is important. If we're bearish, this is gonna hold up, right? We're pushing directly into it with no pullback. So we're probably gonna end up seeing rejection 9 times out of 10. Price is gonna dump lower. But the key to this bullish scenario is these down close candles. How is price giving a break in a retest of these down close candles, right? Didn't really give much here. So I'm looking for a decent profile somewhere in here. I'm gonna watch ES. ES is gonna be the breadwinner here for the longs. Cool. Here goes your rejection right on cue. All right. So now the one thing that I like is I don't want to short it simply because of the EMA, right? We're in a bullish momentum. So I want to see, there we go. Where is price breaking and retesting? We're going to start to see price either push back to this area down here where we've highlighted. Should be like a 5 minute gap in that area too, right? So you'll start to see how things start to line up for this first area of interest. Or price will start to use a different bearish candle, right? We close above here. We can start using this as support. It's just going to give a little bit more resistance. You'll start to see it, right? Price may even start displacing. You might see price hold up this candle, for example, and then give you a 1 minute gap. And then you can start looking for that 1 minute gap maybe. But so far, I'm just looking for a clean profile to enter. We have up close candle, low takes the high. Yeah, we're looking for that pullback. The pullback is just as important as this break of structure, right? Clean break of structure. I need a pullback to retest this area to let me know that price truly doesn't want to go lower. And then I think we'll be good. Cool. So there we go. Right. So what I'm noticing here is remember this gap right here? That's that macro gap. We push to that high, right? The high is the most important part of gaps for me. I know a lot of people like to focus and get overly zoomed in on this imbalance, but the candle's high that created that imbalance is truly what I like to pay more attention to. So let's say like a lot of people may buy this inversion, right? They'll be like, "Oh, this gap got inverted. I want to buy it." But for me, an inversion doesn't count unless we close through the entire candle that created the gap. So like here, see this bearish gap, we actually closed through the entire candle. So that right there would be a clean inversion for me. All right. So now, where can I get involved here? Being that NASDAQ hasn't hit this level, that tells me that there's a chance that we continue higher. We're just rejecting the gap here. And I want to know, can we hold this EMA and hold some sort of structure? So we should, honestly, from what I can see, it looks like we should accumulate like this, go sideways, accumulate, and then manipulate into this area somehow, some way. I'll make it black. And then from there, I would like to get a distribution to go higher. And it may not be that clean, which kind of throws price action off sometimes, but that's essentially what I'm looking for. We dive into bullish structure. We get our first break of structure. This break of structure means nothing if we don't retest. So I love that price is slowing down here. This is a sign that price may try to retest. If we can get a decent drive, that'll make me feel more comfortable taking the buy on any flip back bullish from this area. It could be anything. It could be an inversion. It could be changing the state. It could be anything, right? Break the EMA and hold the EMA in this area. It could be anything, right? Because I understand we're bullish, but it's all about the retest. And I'm looking here. So now I'm starting to pay attention to this area because why are we holding this? What's so special about this area? You go and you look, you say, all right, we have this down close candle. Price closes above it, pulls back into it, closes above it again, pulls back into it. This is starting to look like it could try to go from here because of how we're holding this EMA, right? You just got to be careful because we already know NASDAQ can just free fall for no reason and end up way down in here. And I think that's more probable when you look at the clock. It's 10:20. Price has already shown you that it doesn't really care about bullishness. Look at how bearish this was for hours and hours and hours. So I don't think price is going to be in a rush to just go straight up in the air like we saw yesterday. Price just went straight up. Once it got what it wanted, it was able to go straight up. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think we're going to get a retest. And there goes that retest. Let's see if we can get. I want a deep drive. We have this 5-minute gap here. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, let's see. And if we use our Fibonacci, right? Like where's 50% of this setup? Way down here. So that's essentially where you want to be getting involved. You want to get involved at a discount. But it all just depends on what happens here, man. 15-minute chart. What are we seeing? We have this down close candle. This is beautiful, right? So imagine we retest this down close candle opening price. That's right where I would want to see price retest. Really nice, really nice. All right. 5-minute candle. We also have this 5-minute down close candle, right? So you can see like if you're studying ICT, I think the most profitable and consistent concepts are, of course, liquidity, right? Uh Previous daily levels, volume imbalances, fair value gaps, sweeps, things like that, valuable, right? And then you have reversals, right? I think the best reversal comes from the breakers and the change in the states of delivery, which is essentially telling you that when price pushes into a higher time frame level, you can watch the lower time frame candles. Like, for example, we got a bearish candle here. You can watch the open and close price of those candles and look for a retest, and how price retest that level usually gives you a good idea of what to expect. It looks like we're going to go a lot lower here because I don't see any. Okay, we have this one right here that hasn't been hit. We just haven't really tapped into much down close volume here for NASDAQ. ES is, right? But ES is stronger. So if ES starts leading the way lower, it's gonna drag NASDAQ a lot lower. And then now when we look here, we say, all right, we drove into here. This is bearish. I might short this. I think I want to short this, guys. It all depends on how this gap responds here, because if you notice, we have ES leading the way lower. We have a change in the state. We close through this down close candle. So if I take this yellow box and I focus on this zone right here, you'll see we close through it, push back, fail to break that range again, and now we get this 1-minute gap. I think I want to short this. Short from here, stop up there, and then I would just short it back down to 10 a.m. Let's see how this holds up. If this fails, then this is going to be where I go bullish. Clean area of interest. The one thing I do like is that it could be bullish because NASDAQ is showing no sign. Wait, let's see. Up close. Boom. Actually, no. NASDAQ is giving the short too. This is about the short, guys. If this holds, I will. I think I want to short NASDAQ. Yeah, it's about to run already. It's about to run already. I should just short this. Let's see if it gives us another entry. If not, I'll just wait. Because you could short NASDAQ back down to what price would this be? I think I want to short this here, guys. If I get a 30-point stop at, let's say 40-point stop. 40-point stop would be, I'm going to short this 1 second. 6 micros. That'll be 6 micros for 500. I'm short here, guys. Stop above there. And I just want to see price push back down to retest some sort of actual structure here. Buy limit there. Oh, ES is running. Bro. Here we go. This happens every time, bro. All right, there goes your follow through. I wish I would have shorted ES. But I'm gonna probably start. Let's see. We should push very, very strong here. Look at that. All right. Oh, I logged into the wrong account. You gotta be kidding me, kid. Oh my goodness. I need at least 50% here. Look at ES. All right, buddy. 1 second. Oh, this sucks, bro. I wasn't able to log into my other accounts. But this is where you literally go break even. Somehow ES is weaker. But I think we at least hit 50% here. I'm looking at the higher time frames. We should continue to push down. All right, well, we are pushing. This might stop here. We're at 50% of this range now. Good speed. All right, if I see 500, I'm out. 400, I'll probably cut it also. ES was a much better trade, but I'm trying to stick to the concept of which one's stronger, which one's weaker. I said, oh, there you go. And TP should smack here shortly. All right, I'm out here, guys. 500, yeah. And we hit 50% of that range. Very easy trade, right? You see, certain areas just have to break in order for you to go bullish. We didn't break it. So I'm looking at, here's a good example of, and there goes full TP. Nice. So here's an example of, you see price push into bearish territory. Oh, it's still going. It should flip back bullish because this is the pullback I was looking for, right? Remember I said it doesn't matter if we break structure. It's all about the retest, right? So now here we are retesting. I think it's going to go back bullish. But that was perfect. You catch about 60 points there, easy. So I'm going to sign out of this account and then I will good job. All right, yeah. So I'm going to sign out of this account and then sign into my other accounts. Stupid. Why is all my passwords, bro? Some stuff is just unfortunate, bro. This was the easiest short in America. And it's honestly, it's strange that ES is leading the way. This makes me think we may not be bullish anymore. You don't want to see ES, the stronger asset, show so much weakness here. But let's recap this trade. You see this macro zone, like I said, like a lot of people worry about the gap. If you were trading this inversion, you just got slapped in the face because you don't understand inversions. But that's our little secret, right? An inversion means nothing if we don't break that candle's high that offered the gap, right? People tried to buy this. I know 1,000% people were like, oh, we swept liquidity. We closed through this gap. I'm buying it. Stupido. All right. We know that this candle high is the most important area. So that's why I ended up making this my focus. We tap into it. And now you're looking at up close candles after that, right? So you notice we push up after tapping into it, fail to make a high, and then we close underneath it. And on top of that, we strictly remained underneath this body very aggressively, and we get this bearish gap. This is my short. All right. That's my short. And that is pin perfect because you can get your stop above any one of these short-term highs. And then, like I said, target 10 a.m. if you're on ES, or just target 50% if you want to short the NASDAQ. All right, so there's that. I'm going to screenshot this. Pretty fast trade. I didn't even get in on all of my accounts. So what I will do is I will go ahead and continue trading, but I'm going to stop trading this account, and then I'll look for the buy. I still think we can be bullish if we can show some life above 10 a.m. here. It's going to be a beautiful buy. All right. This is so lame, bro. Like some stuff is like this stupid browser signed me out of all of my accounts, and then when I try to sign in, it wouldn't save the password. So I thought I was in my live accounts, but it signed me into some old account that I don't even use anymore. And then when I tried to execute, it was like, account not valid. Like, come on, kid. You don't want to see me get paid or something, kid? Is that what it is? Save. Now we're good. All right. So yeah, I'm gonna screenshot this, drop this in the chat. VIP. I was not able to text this fast enough. As you can see, I barely got in myself. But that was about 50 points there. And hey, get out of the come here. Get out of there. All right, nice. So now you see price stalling again, right? Beautiful. So I'm gonna delete that, delete that. And as always, this area right here becomes the culprit once again. I said this was going to reject, did I not? Right. So seeing this rejection, it doesn't make me bearish just yet. I understand that price is going to reject, especially when you get a break of structure with no pullback. It just broke structure. The very first break of structure, you always wait for the pullback. That's like, you'll learn that the hard way if you're a new trader. as you get going, you'll start to say, all right, bro, just because it broke structure, that doesn't mean I should just buy these fair value gaps. It means price is starting to go bullish. And if you're patient and you know how to read the clock, right, you'll say, all right, we got this break of structure at 10:15. There's a very small percentage of the time where price will just break structure and continue for the entire time, right? If this was a break of structure later on in the day, maybe around like 12 o'clock, and we've been hanging out in this bullish area, then you probably could say, all right, maybe price is going to try to pick up speed because it's late in the day. However, because this was so early, you know that there's going to be a sell off. Just find a good area for resistance, and that's what happened here. I like the buy still because Nasdaq didn't even tap this high. All we did was tap the fair value gap, and we're just filling in a discounted range now. So now I think we could possibly start going bullish here. And if you notice, we're pushing back into this down close candle, right? So it's all the same game. It's all the very same game. We have this down close candle right here, which was the last down close candle before price started to rally. I think this is probably where we find some bullishness, guys. Let's see if we can get involved here. All right, cool. So what's the scenario, right? We swept this higher time frame liquidity, we sweep it, we push into this bearish area of interest, and now we're retesting. Let's go to the 5-minute and see what candles are in here. 10-minute, 15-minute. All right, nice. So yeah, we're retesting this 15-minute low here. You want to give price a chance to really show his hand because we do have a fat 5-minute bearish gap that I will probably just wait for this 5-minute bearish gap to be flipped, right? You know, the BPR formation where price drives into here. You don't want to buy it until price drives into this gap. Why? Because if you, let's say you buy it here, price could literally just drive into here and just keep going lower. So you just wasted your buy trade. Why not just wait for price to drive into it, give you that rejection that you're going to see? You should see some sort of rejection. And once you see that rejection, you go back to the key areas down here and you want to see it hold. If we hold that bullish structure after we fill in here and then slam into it and then we start climbing, now the door is open for higher. All right, so that's going to be the game plan. Clean up my chart here. And honestly, if you were able to make money on the sales, I wouldn't even trade anymore. I would just take take my winning trade and call it a day. But I still like this sequence here. It's still early, right? It's only 10:40, 10:40. So we're about to see this next macro. And I still think we're gonna go bullish. So I'm gonna trade my other accounts here. There we go. We get the gap fill on NASDAQ, but we haven't filled yet on ES. So we're waiting for that. All right, nice. So here goes your gap fill. Let's see how price responds. I want to see some sort of rejection now. Simple. There it is. Beautiful. Beautiful. So now with this rejection, we're going to be able to see, all right, are there any strong bullish areas of interest? We closed. This is probably going to be the area here. You see how we close through this down close candle, tap back into it, fail to close below it, tap back into it again, and you're seeing a lot of strength off of it. That's the type of stuff that you want to see. Same thing here. But this one's a little bit further away, but we close through it, pull back into it, nice expansion. And then you have this volume imbalance hiding in here. This is known as your suspension block. You guys see what I see? Anytime, let me highlight the volume imbalances. If this holds up, I'm going to buy this. And this probably be my first time trading a suspension block, but you can see where you have a volume imbalance followed by an engulfing strong candle and then a volume imbalance at the high as well. And then on top of that, notice 10 a.m. price is sitting in between here. So yeah, this is probably going to end up being, and I noticed this bearish volume imbalance here as well. So this is going to be a battle here. We get above these levels. I'm going to have to trade ES because somehow ES is leading the way both ways, right? ES gave you a better short and we're going to be bullish. So ES should give you a better buy. ES is just very clean today, no matter which way you take it. All right, so here we go. Driving back into this area. I don't see many volume imbalances over here. But notice we did break this volume imbalance right here. We got a nice closure above it. You're getting the rejection, right? This is why you wait for the 5-minute gap to fill because it's going to reject more times than not. And I'm not really bearish, even though we could be bearish. It's just hard to go short in such a higher time frame bullish area. And notice how price is responding around 10 a.m. right now. This just doesn't fit my profile for a short, right? I feel like if you're selling, you want to be selling from up here, this area, 25,707. As close to that as possible, right? That's the only reason I shorted. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this may not be. Yeah, this may not be. Wow. 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 Yeah, this may be over with, guys. It all depends on how price responds down here. Because, all right, let's see. Let's see what we have here. Let's see. Higher time frame may be a better point of view. Stab into here. Yeah, I don't see it yet. I don't see it yet. Because this down close candle right here is holding up very nicely. We saw a down close candle, close above it, push deep into this range, expand. Now you're seeing this down close candle is being retested. If we hold this wick and we hold this candle here, this could literally still deliver higher. So it's just a matter of time here. I don't want to get too bearish, right? When you see price, look at how bearish this is, right? And then we're looking at, this is tough though. We could go lower. It's just tough. I don't think I would want to trade it though. That's the dilemma, right? I can say, all right, yeah, maybe price does want lower, but if I look, what type of profile would I be trading? All right. Let me hide my drawing. Yeah, this sucks. It's gonna keep going lower. Yeah. So if I'm looking for a short profile, I think I might get off here. I don't think I want to trade this because it's not even giving you a chance to process what's happening right now. So we 10 a.m. right? We take this low, push back into a key area. Yeah, this sucks, bro. I kind of want to sign out. Um, we tap into here. Good short there. All right, so yeah, that's that. I don't know if I really want to get involved here, but when I look, all right, so the one thing I'm noticing is this blue line right here, right, is 50% of the range, right? So you notice that was that was it. We got SMT off of 50% of the range. All right. And then from there, I'm looking to see like what would have been my clue that price wanted to go way lower. I don't really see much, right? We sweep this higher time frame level. We're in bullish territory. We break 10 a.m. very aggressively, right? Once you break 10 a.m., I'm looking for a price to break this in order to go bullish, right? Or at the very least, pull back, give a solid retest to go higher. But you notice the pullback gets underneath 10 a.m. over here on ES and then resists 10 a.m. Right? This is why ES is so much better to trade. Look at how Nasdaq tries to get you to buy, pretending that 10 a.m. is a strong support level, and you even break the EMA. Right? Look at ES. ES completely did the opposite. ES uses 10 a.m. as resistance, showing you that it wants lower. Beautiful, right? This is why I'm focusing more on ES for my trade ideas. Perfect example. All right. So with here, all I'm seeing is we sweep the higher time frame liquidity on the lows. You get that push, but it only was able to give you a push back to 50% of the range. And once that range was hit, you see price immediately transition lower. And now that we're showing this bearishness, like I mentioned before, the next draw would be this green level here, which there's going to be a weekly open right there. That'll be the draw. I hate that I wasn't able to hold through this, but I don't think I would have been holding this short. I think the best target would have been literally 10 a.m. All right. So now I think the only thing left for me to do is either maybe check this higher time frame. Yeah, let's see how these higher time frame candles close in this area, right? Because we've been down here before. You see wicks in this area before, right? But you don't see any strong bearish body closures. So I want to see how these hourly candles close in the next 7 minutes before I give up on the buys, because we could still be very much bullish. This is extremely bearish. My goodness. My goodness. But yeah, so if you're just now tuning in, we're up one trade so far. We took the short here. First trade. All right, so I'm gonna just fine tune these levels here because what you're if you're paying attention, you'll see that it's crazy, but all these 1 minute candles are actually working together, right? So you see this down close candle before that big move up. Price gets underneath it right here, right? 10:30, we're underneath it. That's telling me that this range right here could serve as a brick wall. And what happens? Price gets under it, retests the very high of this range, slams off of it. Here's your next short idea right here. You could have shorted this if you're, you know, an extremist. Short here, target maybe that wick that I have. So the bottom of this green zone, right? That's another short. All right. I'm not taking that. All right. Now that we have these levels pretty much highlighted, up close candle, down close candle. Yeah, I would say this is your key point of interest here. Whether it be this candle or this bearish candle, they're pretty much the same, right? And then now that you have this roadblock, you want to see a retest. If we can break through here, then I know, all right, I want to see price retest this level once again. That would be my game plan there. And then 50% of this range moves down a little bit to this level. But based on how aggressive this is it is only 11 o'clock and this hourly candle is wicking, as we mentioned, right? We've seen wicks deep into this zone before that turned into astronomical buys. So actually, yeah, let's go back and look at this area. What happened the last time price offered a massive wick? Let's go back to the 1 minute here and let's take a look while we wait. Here we go. All right. So price drives into this area. We have multiple bearish gaps in front of us. Where is the point of interest? All right. So we're going to see down close candles get closed through. It looks like, yeah, this was just a free fall. There's not much structure here. I would say this is the only one. This is the only down close candle that you close through. Right? You close through it and then you retest it and then you give a gap. Right? So once price breaks this, what do you know? This should serve as your area for buys. Let's move to our right, see if that holds up. Sure enough, right? So same concept that we're using today. This is my area of interest. I don't see many other down close candles being closed through. Maybe this one, down close candle, close through it and retest it right here. You get this small gap here, multiple gaps here, yeah. So I would say anything up in this area needs to break before I think about buying it. And I don't think that we're this bearish, right? Let's take a look at crypto. Yeah, look at crypto, guys. Come on. I think we're about to have a delayed buy today. Or maybe, maybe price wants to buy overnight. It doesn't have to happen right here, right now. But look at crypto. Crypto is strong as it can be right now, pushing, making its runs. I think we go back bullish. If we can get above here and maybe even take a quick stab down here to get even more risk to reward, right? We're looking for down close candles that get closed above and retested. This looks like it could be your culprit right here. We close above the closure price or the open price, and now we're rejecting it. If price can hold this here, I'll start looking for areas. I don't want to be too aggressive, but it's starting to look like we're going to go ahead and flip bullish. Mark off the same areas over here on NASDAQ real quick. All right, cool. So I want to know how price starts to, bro, what are you doing? I want to know how price starts to speed up here. Hmm. And then I'll pay close attention to 50% of this range here. What is this? I don't know what that is. We should start to see some speed higher, man. Because as I mentioned, we're wicking. We got a strong closure on NASDAQ, but we also tap into this down close candle that was very, very important for price at one point. And as you can see, like I mentioned, down close candles, changing the states, those are the main concepts for ICT. Those are the ones that I've found to be most consistent. Like all the unicorns and the inversion fair value gaps, those are trash if you ask me, compared to what I'm using. Well, compared to the here, let me erase this green zone. We know that that's bullish territory. And I'm looking for, like I said before, I want to see price retest this level up in here. So I don't see any fair value gaps just yet though. But we do have this EMA, man. The fair value gaps for me just show me that price is starting to disrespect and create bullish imbalances, right? We know that imbalances show momentum, right? Just like we saw all these imbalances here, bearish momentum. We need to see bullish imbalances to show us some sort of momentum. All right, here we go. We might get our first bullish fair value gap here, and I think I want to tap this one. Just depends on what happens here. This zone right here, look at that. No imbalance on ES. But close above it, pull back. So like these two candles here, even the one above it, right? These two candles look nice. Down close candle, we close above it, push aggressively, fail to get outside of that zone. And then now we're expanding higher. 2-minute chart, 1-minute chart. So yeah, now we're just chilling. Because remember, there's going to be bearish areas of interest, right? This bearish gap right here. I know there's going to be rejection in this gap. So I don't want to get too antsy and buy it before I see that rejection. Here goes the rejection. We're pushing into it. Now we're getting that rejection. Beautiful. How does price respond to this rejection? I want to see these bullish areas that I had highlighted. I want to see these areas hold up. Like right now, if we can show a lot of resistance in this box here, and then start flipping back, then I know, all right, if I buy this, I should anticipate this to hold. I could put my stop underneath here, and then I'm just going to target maybe this 1R or 1.5 back to 10 a.m. You know, um, mm, let me fix this as well so I know where my 50% of the range is. All right, there's that. So are we holding this level? Looks solid so far. You want to see a strong reaction here. Even an inversion right now is okay. Like say we close strongly above this bearish gap, strongly above that candle, back near the highs. Then I'm like, all right, that's a decent setup. I can take a stab at the buys. We haven't seen any real bullish pressure so far. So this could be the start. Boom, boom, boom. That candle's nice. Close through the high. Pull back to the low. No, close to this high. So yeah, I'm just waiting on a clean resistance. Let's see what happens. If price wants to continue running lower, then so be it. Not really a fan of that. I think we're way too sold off right now. And then, of course, imagine if this level holds up with precision and you see that this low is never broken. That's just going to give you all the reasons you need to take this buy when price finally gets back above this bearish gap. You should anticipate something like that. Mm-mm. Really nice pressure off of this down close candle, right? But we still have this EMA, we still have this bearish gap. We need to see price slice through that. And if we get that, then I'm probably gonna try this here with the 7-point stop. And then I'm just looking for price to revisit. We've already tapped into there. Yeah, I would look for price to just revisit something like that. But we'll see. We shall see. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna get ready to buy this. I just looked up the Trump narrative. They decided not to rule his tariffs illegal. So this is going to be 6 or 7 contracts here. And hold on, let me get this set up. Yeah, 7.5 point stop, 7 contracts. All right. So as you can see, price is just wasting time here. And we haven't broken this gap yet on the NASDAQ. So that could be the issue right now. So I'm just chilling. I was just about to get in, but as you can see, we got some rejection going on here. But long story short, I like how this down close candle is holding up. Same thing here. And I'm looking for price to break out now and push back higher. 2 minute chart, down close candle, close above it, retest, retest, retest. Yeah, it looks like we're about to break out. Just looking for that final confirmation here. And then you see that there was a 2 minute bearish gap here that hadn't been filled yet on NASDAQ. So it makes sense for us to see some rejection first, blah, 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 waste people's time. And then once price is able to reclaim and break this level here, I would anticipate price to start pushing higher. All right, so just a little bit more patience here before I try this. So yeah, they decided not to rule his tariffs illegal, which is big. And I'm looking to get in around 69.38. 7.5 point stop. All right, so let's see here. And I like how ES is starting to take the lead, right? You see ES didn't even bother sweeping out this low. You get NASDAQ filling in this bearish gap, sweeping out the low. I like that. Price is probably going to try to run here any moment now. So I'm just waiting. See if we can get this flip on NASDAQ as well. 20 seconds left in this candle, so no rush. Uh-oh. All right, let me go ahead and any pullback. All right. I'm going to execute there just in case price tries to take off. That's the fill I want. All right. And then take it up to this. Oh, wait. Am I, bro? 7.5 points, 13 micros. There we go. 14. There we go. Yeah, so that's the proper contract size. It'll be 13 or 14. And like I said, I'm looking for that type of move right there. Stop down in here. And because these tariffs were not ruled illegal, realistically, I think that everything in here gets broken. I think that we've seen all the selling pressure that we're going to see today. And I think we should revisit 10 a.m. at minimum, right? Which is probably going to be my target, 10 a.m. And then from there, I would anticipate that price should be able to break here. It's just a matter of time. Like, who knows how long it would take for price to do something like this. Break here, maybe retest, maybe even pull back again. But essentially, I would like to see price get all the way back up to here. That would be my game plan there. This is gonna be my first stab at the buys, and then we'll see what happens in this range here. Check the 1 minute. So this bearish gap is still holding up over here on Nasdaq for whatever reason. So if you're planning to buy the Nasdaq, I would say just wait for that to break, because now we're starting to see the time distortion where price is choosing to do nothing instead of something. All right, we're still inside of this gap. I have this gap high highlighted here, and it looks like price is leeching right now. Might have to take another stab at this if this wants to play hooky inside of this gap. What is price retesting right now? I don't get it, bro. Just go ahead and take off, bro. Like, stuff like this is weird, because why do you feel like you need to waste so much time if you're already overextended? We are so bearish right now. You don't need to waste any more time if you're bullish. Go ahead and just start spooling, running towards the highs. We have this 50% mark here. 50% for ES is way up here. Like, come on, kid. This is the type of trade you might be able to leave some runners all the way back up to 930, back up to this 50% mark here, or maybe even just back up to 10 a.m. for NASDAQ. Looking for one last push, and then I will call it a day. Let's see if we can make this quick. We are inside of that. Oh, no, we just finished that second macro. So let's look at the macro. 1050 macro, we see 1050 here. We were interacting with these bearish gaps. Price has officially broken through those bearish gaps, and now we're looking to get our first bullish gap. Please, 30 seconds left. Let's see if we can get more upside. That'll give us our first bullish gap right here. Nice speed there. There we go. There we go. This should open the door for a lot higher very quickly, because we spend a lot of time going lower. So price should start picking up the speed here and taking out at least these internal highs here. So this will be my lower time frame target. I should probably just go ahead and target that. 10 a.m. will be my checkpoint. If price starts stalling at 10 a.m., I know that price can reject, and I don't want to deal with any pullbacks, right? If price gets up in here and starts stalling, just cut the trade, because it could pull all the way back to entry before continuing, and you don't want to deal with that. So that's the first checkpoint here. So I should do it like this. It'll be target 1 and then target 2. Good speed so far. This is exactly what you want to see. You want to see price try and squeeze out as many sellers as fast as possible. Really good. Really good. Nice. All right, cool. So for VIP, TP is literally 1 point away. Let's see if we can get that 7.5 point target here. All right, there it is. All right, yeah, TP out on VIP here. And there goes that. That's going to be 8 points there on the ES for VIP. And there we go. This is what you want to see. 10 a.m. approaching. Yeah, we haven't hit anything. And look at crypto still going. Like I said, this could be the bottom of a massive move higher. There we go. All right, 10 a.m. being hit here. All right, this is probably the best trade I've seen in a very long time, years. Oh my goodness, there we go. All right, so with price pushing strong here, I'm gonna start hovering over this exit button. But Nasdaq hasn't hit 10 a.m. yet, so I want to see ES just keep going. Right, we don't want to see much resistance here. We got a strong closure, nice. Just keep it going. And I'm looking for this internal high here. Target one smashed. There we go. Really nice trade. Let's get one more drive. All right. So with that retest there, let's see if we can just reject 10 a.m. now. Use it as support. No. All right. I'm going to start cutting this at about. Come on, bro. I just want to see this 10 a.m. serve as resistance right now. There we go. That's a good sign. You get the wick off 10 a.m. That could be the last move lower to send price to this high, and I'll be all out at that high. Not really trying to be greedy, but at the same time, making the market pay for wasting our time, right? We know what buys look like. So we want to wait patiently for a buy. We get the buy, we should anticipate highs. Come on. Just take out this high, and that'll be it for me today. 657. Come on, one more drive, kid. I don't think I want to be greedy though. But it just, you know what I mean? Like I said, I'm not being greedy. I'm just sticking to the protocol. If we're bullish, we're going to take out highs. There we go. There it is. And once this high is taken, I want to be all out there. And that's going to be about 15 points. I'm actually going to cut this. Should I wait? I should wait. Or should I cut it? Uh, it's almost there, kid. There it is. Come on. All right, I'm out. I'm out. Play with somebody else, mister. I ain't got time for that. And there you have it, right? Very clean trade. We called out that move similar to the bullish. I'm sorry, similar to the short earlier on stream. You can see certain levels start to hold up. So you just get out. All right. And that's that. I think we're going to end up taking this high any minute now. It's just, like I said, when price starts to be weird, just take it for what it is. We've already caught way too many points to be falling victim to this stupidity. I don't want to see price pull back anymore. We did just tap into this EMA. I think that may be the final pullback here before we start taking out highs. But there you have it. All right, so I'm gonna draw these two up, drop them in the chat, and let's see how long it takes for this high to get hit. And they're still hovering. All right, there it is. Finally. Bingo. And I would love to see price just keep going. But as I mentioned, you don't want to get too caught up in giving the market too much praise, bro, because at any moment it could start wasting your time. All right, so short here, 2 trades today. Excellent read on price. This fair value gap right here was enough for me to short. Short it back to 10 a.m. something like that. All right, and then there goes that. All right, and there goes that. Bingo. My goodness. I wish it would do this type of stuff instantly so I could just stay in the trade, bro. I hate this type of stuff, bro. Like, why you choose right now to start showing all this strength? So stupid, bro. Maybe I'm just being stupid. I should have just held it until this 10 a.m. got hit. But it's like anytime I try to be logical with the market, it starts to make no sense. It's like, today I choose not to make any sense and I'm not going to take this high. Ha ha ha. You thought I was going to take that high, but I'm actually going to go back to break even before I take that high. But then when I get out early, this is exactly what happens. It takes the high, no problem. But I have to fight my emotions. I'm like a perfectionist at times, but in what world should I be complaining about catching 12 and a half points in literally minutes? This trade was phenomenal. Good job. All right, cool. So that wraps up today. I kind of should have traded this on all my accounts, but I only took this trade on the accounts that I didn't catch the sell on. All right, so this is today's session. All right. If you guys have any questions, as always, let me know. And yeah, can I put text on here? All right, let me zoom in. This is gonna go down as the best trading day of the year so far. Extra clean price action. Extra clean price action. Extra clean volume. Extra clean everything. All right, let me get off the charts here. Copy this. Download. This is fire. I really want to come back in an hour and I want to see all of these highs taken out. I want to see something like this. Back up to this bearish area of interest and then take out these highs. That's what I want to see. Phenomenal. All right, cool. Dropping this SEC. All right, cool. Cool, cool, cool. So yeah, 2 trades, no drawdown. And this one was 1,000. This one was 500, 1,500. I think the short was on Nasdaq, right? Yeah. NQ short. How many points was that short? Short was about settings, trading, execution, supply. I don't see the short on here. I don't see. Oh, that's because I signed out of my account. All right. I want to say it was from here. It was this gap here, so I shorted a little bit late, and it was like 40 points. Yeah, it was like 50 points. Yeah, yeah, like 50 points. I want to say 50 points on the short, and then I caught about 12.5 or 12 points or whatever. Who cares? All right, cool. So that's a wrap for today. As always, if you have any questions, let me know. If you made any money today, go ahead, jump in the chat room, let us know about it. And back in action tomorrow. Let me go ahead and see what the news looks like for tomorrow. I'll also drop the chat room link in the YouTube chat in case anybody new wants to join. All right, cool. Cool, cool, cool. More W's today. And no, eat your yogurt, buddy. Also, if you guys are on the stream and you guys actually stuck through the stream, go ahead, drop a like on the stream. And but yeah, don't look too closely. Don't want to, you know, hype it up, but right now we're on a really nice hot streak and we're pretty much ahead of pace right now. Way ahead of schedule for January. Just got to keep it going and continue to just take advantage of what the market gives, bro. No other way to do it. And then yeah, I'm gonna check the news for tomorrow and see if tomorrow could be just as clean. We have unemployment claims tomorrow. All right, that's not bad. We might be able to get some decent setups tomorrow. All right, cool, cool. So yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for me. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, nobody has any questions. We're good. I will catch you guys tomorrow at 9:45 a.m. Tell a friend, tell your trader friends, jump on the stream, and let's keep this going. All right. Catch you guys next time. God bless.